and welcome back to my channel. My name is Julia. It's been a while since I did a proper video, and I always say this, but I've just been busy. But for this video, I've decided to do another thrift flip. You guys really like them, so I decided to do another one. And this video is also in collaboration with Skillshare. If you guys don't know about them by now, I've worked with them so many times before. They are an online learning community that has a ton of classes for creative people or people that just want to explore new interests. If you guys haven't checked Skillshare out, they have a lot of basic sewing classes for like how to use your sewing machine, and also more advanced ones such as this garment construction class by Anya Young-chae, which is an introduction to draping. So they basically have a great span of classes for you to learn if you would want to go deeper into any type of interest that you have. And as usual, they also want to offer you guys 2 months of free premium membership for the first 1,000 people that click the link in my bio, and after that it's only $10 a month, which is a great deal. But yeah, let's hop on to the first DIY. So if you guys remember one of my previous thrift flip videos, I had some leftover fabric from this blue snakeskin dress, which is kind of like a swimwear material. So I figured since it's summer, I would do a bikini out of it. So I picked out a bikini for reference, and this is actually one of the new Dang Stockholm, releasing very soon. So I laid out the fabric and started with the straps. I didn't really measure anything, and it turned out later that this would be my own mistake because the straps turned out quite a bit short. So basically all I did was cutting out 3 straps of 2.5 centimeter wide strips, and for that I also had some elastic, and I really didn't like the elastic that I got, but my craft store didn't really have any other options. After that, I folded my fabric and laid it out so that the pattern would match, and then I started cutting out the triangles. And yes, I have a Toblerone chocolate box because I did not have a ruler with me, so I just used what I had closest to me. And I outlined the triangle of the bikini and basically cut that out. So what you want after this is 4 triangles that are laid out 2 and 2. Next up, I have the bottom of my bikini, and this is made up out of 2 pieces that are identical and doubled. So basically I laid out the fabric once again in 2 and then outlined the bikini parts and just cut that out. And just to be clear, I have every piece in double layers of fabric. So then I just started sewing it all together. So starting with the straps, I folded the straps in half and placed the elastic band underneath and just sewed a zigzag stitch all along the strap. And I did this for all the 3 straps that I had cut out. And then to fold the straps inside out, which can be quite tricky, I just use a safety pin to hook one end, and then I just put it inside to kind of like wiggle it out, and then just pull the strap out. And for one of the straps, I cut it in 4, which is gonna be the straps for the bottom bikini. For the second strap, I cut it in half, which is for the neck. Then for the strap where I have cut it in half, I will insert it into the triangle and pin it in place in the top edge so that when you fold it inside out, the strap will be in the top of the triangle. And then I prep the fabric by pinning it all in place so that I can sew it together later. Then I have the bottom of the bikini, and I basically just take the 2 pieces together and pin it in place, and then repeat that so that I have 2 identical pieces. Now just sew it all together, and for the triangle bikini, leave the bottom part of the triangle open so that you can fold it inside out later. For the bikini panty, just sew a straight stitch down along so that you will attach the pieces that you just pinned together. Now you can fold the triangle bikini inside out. Then for the bottom bikini, place the right sides facing each other, and now take the quarter straps that you cut out and pin them inside in place. For the triangle, you can do a zigzag stitch all across the bottom part of the bikini. And then I just fold the bottom part of the bikini so I have about 1 centimeter seam allowance, and that there's basically a hole inside so that we can insert the strap later on. This was kind of a bit tricky because my sewing machine wasn't really working well with the fabric, but it doesn't look really that great, but it works. For the bottom bikini, I just sewed it all in place, and I left the hole so that I could turn it inside out later on. And of course, you want to sew the hole together. Honestly, I was a bit lazy doing this because you couldn't really tell where the hole was, so I just left it as it was. Then taking the longest strap that we have made and hooking a safety pin on it, I just looped it inside the holes for the triangle. Now you can just trim the edges to make it look a bit cleaned up, and you're done. I found this maxi skirt for about $8, and it was of course way too big for me, and I figured I wanted to make a set inspired by Natalie Rolt and Christopher Esper. So basically what I want to do with the skirt is cinching in the waist, giving it a ruche detailing, and then with the crop piece from the bottom, I'm gonna make a top out of it. So starting off, I didn't have a seam ripper, and this was my own mistake because this is dangerous. I do not recommend this at all, but I used a knife to rip the seams and I actually cut myself, and that is my own fault. Do not do this at home. I do not recommend it at all. But I removed all the belt straps and the unnecessary things that I really didn't need, and then using a skirt that I know fits me, I just placed it on top. You could also put it on and see where it fits your body and like pin it by draping it onto your body, but I figured this was gonna be a bit easier. So I just laid the black skirt, which is the skirt that fits me, on top of it and pinned it in place. Then I cut it as nice as I could with my dull scissors. I don't know why my tools weren't working with me this time, but either way, it kind of worked out anyways. So I just cut it out, and basically now you're just gonna have an open skirt, and you're gonna pin this back in place so that you later on can sew it back. But before we do that, I also cut out 22 centimeters off from the bottom so that this will make your top. And this maxi skirt was actually divided in two parts, so I just had to cut it up twice. But then I just sewed a straight stitch so that the skirt would be intact, and trying it on, it looks so cute and form-fitting. Then I have the ruching that I want to make, and the easiest way I figured to do this was by using an elastic band. So basically I just cut an elastic about 11 centimeter long. You could do it how short or how long you want depending on how much ruching you would like. And when you sew, you have to make sure to stretch the elastic so that enough fabric will attach to the elastic and that it will actually give a ruching effect. I just sewed a straight stitch down the elastic, and when I was done, I got something like this, which turned out to be so cute. Then you just want to hem the skirt, and I just folded it in while sewing. Super easy, nothing advanced at all. And then for the square part that we have just cut off, I'm gonna make the top now. So I just continue by hemming the part of the fabric that was cut off, and then I draped it on top of my chest to see where I would want to cut the fabric. Basically, I just pinned the ends in place, fold 1 centimeter inwards, and sew it with 1 centimeter seam allowance. So basically, you're gonna be able to loop a strap into it. And for the excess part, I just cut it off and sewed 1 centimeter once again. And to make a little cute strap, I used the excess fabric that we cut off from the side of the skirt before, and I just cut about 2.5 centimeter off, and I figured ripping the fabric was much easier, which it was because the fabric was non-stretchy, and then sewing about 0.5 centimeter from the fold. And then repeating the same step that I did with the bikini, I took a safety pin to hook a side of the strap and then looped it inwards to turn it inside out. Once again, this is really so tricky, so it's not my favorite part, but you'll get a hang of it. Don't make me come. And then using a safety pin, you can just loop it into the seam allowance that we just created, and basically this will just attach the top together and you will have a finished top. So here's the results. So much for watching this video. Let me know if you have any other thrift flips that you would want me to make. Otherwise, I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!